Customer acquisition costs from Google Local Service Ads went up by 46% from 2023 to 2024 for the contractors in this sample. Is that a bad thing? And what does that mean for your business? Let's dive in. So in this week's episode, I talked about Google Local Service Ad performance from lead all the way through to revenue. I had mentioned that throughout 2024, we saw some oddities in terms of customer acquisition costs, specifically March and April, where pricing spiked to over $400 to acquire a paying customer from GLSAs. Very much an anomaly, where we typically start the year high and come down, which you can see January, February, March, April, May, June, July of 2023. We sort of have this steady decline, a little bump in June, but overall slightly down and to the right, but mostly consistent. Whereas in 2024, we started January over $300. We came down in February. We almost matched the 2023 customer acquisition cost and then peaked in both March and April and even stayed elevated in May before returning to some normalcy in June and July. So you might interpret this data as, down market, costs are going up. What am I going to do? But we need to look at some other data points before we make a final call about GLSAs, and this is really important. So as I wrote in this LinkedIn post, it costs about $50 more in June and July to acquire a paying customer from GLSAs than it did in 2023. Now, if you're savvy, you will know that that's not the only data point you want to use to make a decision about this marketing channel. You're also going to look at average tickets. So average tickets, it's what the average paying customer spent in 2024 of June and July, was $1,656 higher than it was in 2023. If we subtract the $50 extra we spent per paying customer, you're still collecting $1,606 more per paying customer than you were in 2023. So if you were about to make a decision and say, this has gotten more expensive, it's ineffective, something is happening with demand in my market, it must be competition, we're losing out on the fact that these customers spent significantly more money. It was actually worth it for you to pay that extra $50 per customer because they in turn spent more money with you. This is why I talk about not looking at a singular key performance indicator in a vacuum. There's multiple data points that you want to look at together before you craft that narrative and make a decision based on that narrative. So yes, Google Local Service Ads were much more expensive in 2024 as a whole so far than 2023. But what we saw in June and July is that increased spend on the average tickets, so that average customer spending more with your business, which more than makes up for that additional cost. See you next time.